next speaker is Mr. Jamal Akkad. He's a consultant at the Saudi Aramco Entrepreneurship Center, and he's going to talk to us about the development of the entrepreneurial mindset in Saudi Arabia. Please help me welcome Mr. Jamal Akkad.
كيف ارجع؟ وكيف فين اللمبة؟ اوكي. السلام عليكم. صوتي مسموع؟ طيب. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم، الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه. Good morning. It's a pleasure and a great honor to stand in front of you to share with you what we are doing in regard to the build-up of the entrepreneurial mindset in Saudi Arabia through Saudi Aramco Entrepreneurship Center. First of all, I would like to give some hints. I believe that it is very important to give such introduction. There is a direct connection between entrepreneurship and Arabs. Saudis are Arabs. Good discovery. Exactly. Historically, if we define Arabs, they are not the greatest warrior like the Vikings, for example. Vikings are well known over history that they are the warriors. They are not like Chinese scientists. They are not even like Indians, philosophers. Arabs are always known as entrepreneurs and adventurers. To prove that, historically, and even it is mentioned in Quran, the holy book of Islam, رحلة الشتاء والصيف, the trip of winter and summer. The Arabian Peninsula, Saudi Arabia covers 82% of the Arabian Peninsula. So in the Arabian Peninsula, Arabs gather in the center of gravity of business, which is Mecca, to start two main trips. The summer trip up north, where Arabs start their journey of business with the big markets in the Roman Empire, in Persia, in Egypt, from Egypt to North Africa, which was part of the Roman Empire, through Persia, they go to China and India. They come back to Mecca to distribute profits and start preparing to the second trip, which is the winter trip to Africa. Arabs were very well known as supply chain entrepreneurs. In fact, Arabs, they practiced shared equity. They even practiced venture capital at that time. This is in addition to the conventional goods trading and commission-based trading. As adventurer, in literature, we have big names, regardless if it is true or not, but Arabs always known as adventurer. This is Sinbad. This is a cartoon that was developed back in 1972 in Japan, and it was translated into Arabic. Till now, I like to watch it, by the way. And of course, not to forget Aladdin. Now we talk real business. Talking Saudi Arabia. Entrepreneurship is mandatory. With the discovery of oil and gas in Saudi Arabia back in the 1930s, still the people in Saudi Arabia used to be necessity-driven entrepreneurs. But with the discovery and with the evolution of the kingdom as moving forward to modernization and institutionalization, more jobs are created, more employees are in demand. So the number of entrepreneurs started to decline in front of the number of employees. We came into a stage where almost we have no entrepreneurs. In fact, to say that you want to go for entrepreneurship, this means that you are a failure. And it, by the way, it happened to me. I was an entrepreneur during the mid of 1980 to 1990. I was graduated from KFUPM and I thought that I'm doing well. And in fact, I was doing well. But my wife left me. However, this is why I'm an employee now in Saudi Aramco. But due to the serious challenges the kingdom is facing right now, we need to diversify the economy. Oil is not going to stay forever. We need to work on our competitiveness as we join the WTO organization, and we are going to compete with the rest of the world, no doubt. It's out of the question. And also we need to create jobs. Almost 46% of the Saudi population is under the age of 15. This number is very serious, by the way. So the real hero of fostering entrepreneurship in Saudi Arabia was King Abdullah rahmatullah alayh. He started to think seriously about this issue. This was back in 2001. And the first organization developing entrepreneurship in the kingdom was developed in 2004. So we have almost a decade working on developing entrepreneurship. The ecosystem is evolving and is evolving exponentially. For instance, we have 28 institutes working or providing entrepreneurship education and training. We almost have 16 incubator and accelerators. We have 41 financial institutes focusing on SMEs development and funding entrepreneurs. In the non-financial part, when we talk about training programs, we have 9 programs focusing on technical skills, while we have only 3 programs working on both technical and soft skills. Talking about financial institutes, we have 18 organizations providing collateral loans, only one, which is Saudi Aramco Entrepreneurship Center, providing non-collateral loans. And my colleague and my boss, Mr. Sami Khorsani, elaborated on this issue this morning. And we have 20 claiming they are venture capital and 2 angel investment network. So the ecosystem is evolving in such short period of time. However, performance is very humble. We have a problem. It is the entrepreneurial mindset of entrepreneurs. Although our education and training institutes are focusing on building the creative thinking, the technical skills, the attitude and behavior, soft skills, still we have a problem. These things, I call it developmental knowledge. And this is not enough. If we are going to work and handle seriously with building a better entrepreneurial mindset, we need to look into other type of knowledge. Looking into an example from WIDE, just during the last 12 months, we received 800 applications. 300 of them were kicked out from the first meeting. We have a problem. We accepted 500 to get into our training program. By the end of the training program, 400 were kicked out. No, we have a problem. Out of the 100 who survived, 40 of them were kicked out, and only 60 out of 800 were ready to get into the due diligence stage. We are talking about only 7%, and by the way, This 7% does not mean that they are going to be funded. We have tough people here. But it is not true. In fact, we are not a bank. We want them to succeed. But we have a problem with the mindset of those applicants. If we look how investors and financiers communicate with entrepreneurs, or the opposite, entrepreneurs, how they communicate with investors and financiers, first they engage, where entrepreneurs, they pitch or propose. The attraction factor for the investors or financiers, most likely it is the entrepreneur and the venture concept itself. Financiers then provide a checklist for those entrepreneurs, asking them to come back with some answers. Then they go into a second stage, which is the understanding. Both parties need to understand each other. They start to talk same language. Entrepreneurs come back in response to the checklist that they received from the investors, and we are talking here almost something we may call components of business plan. The attraction factor is the entrepreneur, it's more. The venture value. Now we're talking about the venture value. It was the venture concept, then the venture value. Now investors start to deep dive, which is a stage before the due diligence. They go into the third phase, which is the appreciation. Entrepreneurs appreciate the investors, and the investors start to appreciate the entrepreneurs and his venture, and an attractive business plan start to appear. The person who has the money start to appreciate the entrepreneur, the venture value, and the business plan. And he or she may start the due diligence phase toward commitment for a possibility of funding. We are talking about timing, about a zone. Entrepreneurs don't know that. Entrepreneurs want to jump immediately. They think just preparing a hanging green file, of course, Saudis know this, okay? This means that they are applicable and they have the right to get the fund. It doesn't work with investors and financiers. So we have a problem. This could be seen why 93% of our applicants during the last 12 months were out, and only 7 in the due diligence. In a survey I conducted personally, I asked 3 parties: entrepreneurs, trainers, and training experts, in addition to investors, if entrepreneurs know what does due diligence mean. Of course, entrepreneurs, 33% say they know. When I analyzed further their answers, I found that there is no significant or considerable evidence tells that they know. But focusing on the investor who has the money, 73% of the investors and financiers say they don't know. So what type of training we have in the kingdom? Findings out of the survey looked into several issues. The findings, we found that key features investors expect to see in the venture itself, entrepreneurs and their ventures, business plans, that are likely do not appear properly, that need to be polished or presented in a better way. Also, the study found out that entrepreneurs do not understand what does attractive business case mean to investors and financiers. Also, they don't know what does due diligence mean based on investors and financiers' perspective. Also, the research found out that entrepreneurship educational and training programs are not preparing entrepreneurs well to meet investors' expectations. So now we can understand why the number of entrepreneurs getting funded is minimum. We have a problem. How it may happen? When we interviewed some investors, we found that some investors, they said that entrepreneurs do not understand my thinking. They need to talk the same language. Others, they say they don't respond to our questions. Others say they don't understand how due diligence mean, or how the due diligence is being conducted. Another investor said that they don't consider that I need time to make my decision. we need to teach, or we need to introduce such knowledge to the entrepreneurs in order to have a better engagement with the investors and financiers. And that's what I call it utilitarian knowledge, which is the other wing of the education and training that we need to provide to entrepreneurs in order to better polish the entrepreneurial mindset. And in my opinion, that this is so vital. Looking into what Saudi Aramco Entrepreneurship Center action in this regard, we take things very seriously. We have a new dimension in training. The decision was made to spread the entrepreneurial culture and mindset to over 1 million nationals by 2020. In addition to our conventional developmental knowledge training, we provide several utilitarian knowledge training programs, such as Journey Through Entrepreneurship. This is a workshop that is dedicated to university students. We did provide this session, this workshop, to several universities in 2014 and in 2015, and now we are under pressure of a call from almost all of the Saudi universities to provide this workshop in their universities. Another program called the Professional Mentorship. This program is dedicated to incubated potential entrepreneurs, where we bring them professional subject matters experts, not only trainers who are employees, with all due respect to the trainers and instructors, but we are bringing real people from the real market. Technical areas to guide, monitor progress, answer questions, engage in discussion. A third program called the Venture Zone. This is a dedicated program to entrepreneurs who are ready to communicate with investors and financiers. And by the way, we don't do this only to entrepreneurs who are going to communicate with us or to get fund from us, but we prepare them even to communicate with other investors. And when we find that one of our applicants succeed in getting funded from another organizations, we feel so happy because we believe that mission is accomplished. A fourth program, which is called the Professional Business Advisory, this is dedicated to high-impact entrepreneurs who are ready to grow. Here we are talking very professional. Most likely, those experts that we bring them to meet those high-impact entrepreneurs are paid even. We are talking very professional. At the end, always there was a debate about what type of entrepreneurs we need, a book smart entrepreneur or a street smart. This debate is no more valid. We need entrepreneurs who are both book smart and street smart, through providing them both developmental knowledge as well as utilitarian knowledge. And that's what we are doing right now in Saudi Aramco Entrepreneurship Center. Thank you.
We have a few minutes for a couple of questions. Yes, Dr.
Well, thank you, Jamal, for the presentation. Now, you came again, before you, Sami, talk about, the number of, people you are supporting. We know that, venture capital is a very risky business. But, with the low number which we have, don't you think, this will backfire on the people? They will not, they don't believe in the whole thing. They will say that once, we go to the later stages, we will not survive. I mean, now from 64, Sami Show applied, 3 only get, supported by you. So how can we help those people? How can we make it better? Because now we know wherever, I think in Saudi Arabia, we do have problem with venture capital. There is no organization which will really help. So Aramco or Wa'ad is doing a good job, but the way we are extremely strict, don't you think it will backfire on
Uh,
people?
I believe that we are evolving. We are learning out of our mistakes and our and lessons. I believe that Mr. Sami Khorsani may answer you or Wasim Basrawi, but I believe Sami can answer the question much better than me.
I think I gave him the answer during to the coffee break, but let me reiterate something. We believe that we are not, we are one entity, and our role is to be an enabler among other enablers. And the biggest thing, the enablers that we'd like is the academic and the education reforms that need to be looked very seriously to promote innovation and excite the entrepreneurship spirits. When you look about the number, you have to look at it naturally. We need to maximize the deal flow of innovative mindset. These innovation proposal, we'd like to have it. Where those innovation happen? It happened maybe at a stage before the university, at the high school. We need to advocate innovation camps on the high school, for high school. The bigger deal flow, we have the bigger deal flow, the filtration will have a much better filtration. Rather than we end up with 5, we'd like to have 50. So I think we need to look toward from very systematic, and we need to look into the upstream part of it. Upstream part of it is our programs, is our ecosystem, is our education from high school to universities. Bring a child or the candidate or the applicant with a good innovation. That's number one. Number two, do we really have mentors with a passion and energy and aspiration to reframe those innovation to come with a business concept? I think the formula, it's a very difficult question to answer, but the formula requires many variables that need to be addressed. The education part of it is mentorship. The sanitation process, I know some of my team member didn't want me to use the word sanitation. I think concepts need to be sanitated. Proposal have to be refined. And we need to look, we need to have a body that looks into taking these innovation concept, refine it, and give it to organizations like Wa'ad, like other organizations who support entrepreneurship. I think we need to look about what are the really mindset that we like to activate. We want people with passion, with energy, with ethics, Okay. So really, that's what we need. Innovation is entrepreneurship is all about aspiration, passion, and exciting their journey.
Okay, we've got some more time for questions. We've got a lot of questions actually, but okay, you could go ahead, Dr.
Just I have an open invitation for the audience to see at 1:45 some samples of our students who went through the journey of the change of the mindset, and hear from them and see how they changed and evolved this mindset through their journey with our activities. For us, I'm very proud to say, for example, that during summer, and this is a change in the mindset, we had 4 students who have been through our activities, and they managed by themselves to go and convince the gifted program Mawhiba organizers to conduct for the intermediate and high school students sort of a simulation for an entrepreneurial ecosystem. We didn't tell them, we didn't ask them to do so. They went and convinced, and they gave about 10 workshops worth of 1 month of activities, and they created 24 entrepreneurial journeys. Now the question is that, should we just go and think about entrepreneurship and mindset development as just creating businesses, or we should focus more on the mindset as being like creating entrepreneurial leaders at the end? Those who are going to go in the field and do the real business, the real stuff. That's a question open to Jamal and Sami and the audience over here.
Okay.
Based on the mandate, why the center was developed, we are focusing on building ventures. We need to face the challenges that the kingdom is facing. When we talk about entrepreneurial leadership, maybe this could be the responsibility of universities. But our focus in the center is to contribute in facing the challenges that the country is facing, like creating jobs, and simply this means creating SMEs. But when we talk about KFUPM, by the way, I'm a KFUPM grad, Sam is a KFUPM grad, Badr Zahran is a KFUPM grad. KFUPM is really a home of entrepreneurs and entrepreneurial thinkers, really.
Okay. I think we can just take two more questions. We'll go with, yes, please.
Okay, my name is Fuad. I just have a question. If you go spend some time in the Silicon Valley in the States, you'll find a lot of angel investors. They are part of the system. They are part of the ecosystem. And they have a very interesting fear, a fear of missing out. They don't want to miss the opportunity. And to be realistic, that it's really easier than talking to an angel investor versus venture capitalist. My question is, what is the role of WIDE, the incubator here, to prepare this kind of angel investors? If not, what is the alternative? Those investors, they can invest smaller amount of money, but the process of dealing with them is way much easier than dealing with a VC, for example. So that's my question.
If I understand your question, you are asking what is the role of Saudi Aramco Entrepreneurship Center to build up angel investors?
Yes, or prepare them, or kind of encourage this part of the ecosystem.
We believe in collaboration with all effective parties, whether they are angel investors, like for example Akkad or SERB, or regular investors. Okay, but our main focus is on entrepreneurs, not investors. Did I answer your question?
Okay. Okay,
Right.
we'll go since you've raised your hand first. Yes, please.
Well, thank you for the presentation. I love the way that you're doing stuff in WIDE, but do you think that a consequence of from university until you get to be to build up a company, do you think this is the way of process dealing, or an entrepreneur is just a culture of I want to do, I can do? And this is what happened with the most successful company in the world. Most of the leader, they withdraw from university.
It's both. It's both. It depends on the person himself or herself, in addition to polishing his skills through technical and non-technical education and training. It's both.
But the most successful company in the world, like in the United States, basically, is it the environment or the challenging or the customer need, understand the customer needs?
It's all. But mainly, it's the person himself. The person himself.
Because if the person, like we have some good examples, like in Saudi Arabia, like Mr. Rajhi, big name, you can name it. And they didn't even have a basic training, like basic knowledge. And they have the culture and the attitude of can do. So that made them to make the big company and big financer. Like it's not about the education, it's about like the way of living or the chances of creating. I don't see doing a center to graduate entrepreneurs will have a real impact.
Okay.
Okay. I guess, well, thank you, Mr. Jamal.
Okay.
I do apologize. We can't take any.
Because you can change the economy by doing that. But I have a question about replicative entrepreneurship. If a Saudi wants to start a business, not high tech, but a service business, is there support for a Saudi to start a service business and teach them the basics of a replicative business, like an installer or a plumber?
We support any business that adds a value to the Saudi society and the Saudi economy.
It's not just high tech.
No.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. Mr. Jamal.